Hello, welcome to my kitchen. Before we start talking about this week's topic, I just want to say that for the next two-ish weeks, my videos are going to be very basic, just, one shot of me talking, because I'm really busy right now with my exams, and as soon as I'm done with them, I'm going to try to learn how to use a good editing program, and then I'm going to try to make my videos all spiffy and professional. So, relationships. I can't say I'm exactly an expert on that. As I have said in my previous video, I have been in a relationship once, and it was different than most because it was on the internet, and we never had a chance to meet in real life because of geography, amongst other reasons. But, well, it still counts, even though once someone told me that he didn't think it was really a relationship, it was on the internet. Well, I felt otherwise. I felt differently because it was serious, yes, and it did count. It most certainly did count, even if it wasn't, normal. But then again, this is a channel for asexuals. Hardly anything is normal here. I mean, we are different from most people. So there's one difference, not related to asexuality, but, this difference is nothing particularly shocking here. So, yeah. And in this relationship, I learned that because the guy I was with was, well, still is sexual, and I've learned that it can work, even though it wasn't, of course, a big part of our relationship due to this whole internet thing. But yes, it can work between sexuals and asexuals, and the key to it is simple communication. You just have to talk about it, and the sexual person has to be willing to understand asexuality, has to be willing to understand where you're coming from, what you want, and that just because you don't necessarily feel a sexual attraction to them, it doesn't mean that your feelings for them are not real, not strong enough, anything like that. But of course, the asexual person also has to understand the sexual person's needs and wants and desires, and just both sides have to compromise, of course. But it's often, I think, blown out of proportion when people talk about relationships between asexuals and sexuals, because every couple has to, compromise, and every couple has to make decisions that are not necessarily what both people want, but sometimes they just have to meet in the middle. No matter what the couple exactly is, even if it's between sexuals, they may have different sexual needs. One person may want to have sex every other day, the other person may want to have sex twice a week. And of course, there are other problems like children, because one person may not want to have children or just want to have one, and the other wants to have a big family. So every couple has these things they need to compromise on. Right now I am not in a relationship and not particularly looking for one, and I'm alright with being single, as evidenced by the fact that I am not looking for a relationship. I just, I don't really feel like doing it in this moment in my life. I am not against it. I don't think I'm not ever going to have a relationship because I am not a romantic, and I do feel a need for this sort of closeness more than friends closeness, but at the same time I feel that if I don't happen to be in a relationship again, it's not going to be a terrible problem for me. I'm just going to live my life happily, single, and yeah, it's many people seem to consider relationships the beginning and the end of everything, the alpha and the omega. If you're not in a relationship, if you're single, then there is something probably wrong with you. And you need to find a boyfriend or a girlfriend as soon as possible, because otherwise you're weird. No, no. I don't think that's true at all. And being single is not nearly as bad as people portray it to be. Well, I get lonely sometimes, for example, but I don't feel lonely most of the time. It's not my default state, and I can handle it very well. Well, I don't need to handle it because that sounds like a terrible problem that I just try to deal with. No, it's not a terrible problem for me being single. Relationships can be nice, can be cool, but not being in a relationship can be equally satisfying and gratifying and whatever. Gratifying, gratifying. I'm not sure how it's pronounced. I'm not sure if that's even a word. Sorry. And yeah, that's basically my view. It can work, relationships can work between asexuals and sexuals. They can, of course, also work between asexuals with no sexuality in them, and in any other configuration you can think of. It's just a matter of the people in it being happy. And if you can reach happiness, then your relationship is good, I guess. As I said before, I'm not an expert, but that's what counts, I think, that you're happy. So, that is probably all I had to say. Not very informative, but I don't exactly have a lot of experience to speak from. So, yes, I will be grateful for any comments, of course, and if you have any suggestions or questions, just please give them to me. Thanks.